for that game or something.
No partying after the game, huh?
Yeah, because that was a total aberration on behalf of Riverside, and this is more like it. This is, I could say it back to normal. Now they've got to get themselves back into a power condition where they start imposing some fear into teams instead of making teams realize, hey, we could beat them.
You got to hold your horses, though. Next week we play top 10 Fullerton College, currently ranked number 6, ahead of Riverside, but that may not stand a whole lot longer. Delay handoff to Denzel Foster, 2-yard pickup. Foster still in the game along with Nicholas King here with 9:33 to go. Riverside up by 24.
Yeah, they're still out there because they got to get some reps. They got to improve. I mean, this is not a perfect team yet on offense.
I wonder how Nicholas King will be able to fare against a top 10 ball club in Fullerton. What are your thoughts going against a team with that good of a defense?
Well, so far from what he's shown me, he's just got to improve on the deep pass. Missing, again, 3 deep passes, which could have been touchdowns. So, against Fullerton, those passes need to be accurate and on point.
Mix up at the line of scrimmage. Marenko, he was shaking all over the place, and Nicholas King ends up running for a gain of 1. I'm starting to take a second look here at the at the rankings, and to my personal belief, Riverside, their best hope is that they can improve to potentially number 7 or 6. That's about it for this week because you still have Long Beach and Mount Sac.
Well, Long Beach is going to drop because they're losing to Mount Sac.
But
so maybe,
do they drop past Riverside?
I would.
Because Riverside's been putting up a pummeling effort against El Camino here tonight. We'll have to see what the rankings fare on Monday. King looking left, still looking, fires on a shovel pass to Foster, and that will not be a fumble. Incomplete pass. King goes 3 and out, and I believe Riverside, that'll make it 2 out of 10 on third downs today.
So King answered your question. Is he the guy that'll lead them to a state title? Well, from that possession, not really.
I mean, he should have had the completion of Denzel Foster, but his halfback wasn't even looking at the football.
True.
Instead, King trots off the field, 8:17 to go. Is that defense good enough?
You're talking Riverside?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh. Don't get me started.
Don't even get you started there. Well, Riverside's been started since Jump Street there as far as defensive dominance. Bakersfield, last team at home to play Riverside at Wheelock Stadium, and now El Camino. And that was a mistake from the beginning, wasn't it? As Zamora hangs a beauty in the air, end-over-end kick. And Lionel Thomas will fumble the football and end up running inside his own 10-yard line. That was a punt of, check it, Dan, 55 yards by Anthony Zamora. No return.
That's D1 status right there. A great punt. The punt returner had to run backwards to go get that one and then drops it. So perfectly placed ball right there.
Yeah, he isn't thinking a whole lot of the Paloma Valley High School product. But, boy, Anthony Zamora and our main kicker here for Riverside, these are a couple of men who I think will be on their way to the next level. Jimmy Camacho, 3 out of 5 field goals, but his 2 misses were from beyond 50. And then you have a punter that's averaging 45 yards per kick. This has been one of the best special teams unit in the game as number 23 for El Camino, Michael Simmons catches the swing pass. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, going back to the kickers, especially Jimmy Camacho, a guy who we spoke to after the Saddleback game, and he mentioned it himself. It's all about the coaches here. The coaches prepare us. The coaches have us in the weight room. So those guys are putting in the work as much as the other guys.
Well, what is, I think, held Riverside to anything far from their potential is A.J. Hodgkins is in for another sack. That'll be a loss of 6. Riverside, their issue is that they replaced 5 of their 12 coaches from last year. Their offensive coordinator, a couple of their specialists, and it's their recruiting personnel. All of them are gone, but Riverside, off of all of that adversity, still going to be 3-1 this season.
Yeah, credit Coach Kraft for keeping the ship aboard.
That's right, keeping it straight, too.
Yep.
Nicholas King is now, for the meantime, his new starting quarterback. We'll get you his thoughts coming up next week against Fullerton College, as the pass is nearly intercepted by Trayshawn Watson. Joseph Notch going right to the sophomore defensive back.
Yeah, another one, right?
Watson, 2 dropped interceptions. These defensive backs got to learn how to catch the football.
They do, and they should take some reps with the wide receivers.
They should. They have been dominating those receivers in practice, though. I saw Riverside all of Thursday in practice. What does comfort me is that Riverside in practice faces the best defense in California.
That's a great
every day in practice. So I believe the Tigers will eventually get it right on that side of the football. But Riverside, I mean, I looked at their practice in Thursday. They went an hour nonstop offense versus defense. Only 1 touchdown the entire practice session against that defense. As Notch fires and completes to Devontae Jackson, that'll be a pitch and catch partner of, read it, 39 yards. Devontae Jackson on the reception.
Devontae Jenkins, actually, 6'3", 195 from North Torrance. He's a guy that's elusive, and his technique is flawless. As soon as he catches that ball, he understands he's got to tuck it in. Doing exactly what he's taught to do right there. First down.
28-yard pass completion. He's now 1-on-1 against Ray Ford, the sophomore DB. 1st and 10, shotgun snap. There goes Hernandez, who slings it sideline and has his man into enemy territory. 16-yard pickup to number 4, Nicholas Roos, who had the touchdown drop in the first half. And that'll be a nice little redemption there for Roos, the freshman receiver, out to the 44-yard line.
Hernandez getting a shot again. In the game.
This is garbage time, though, Dan. Garbage time.
It is, but it's time to develop. It's time to practice your craft here.
Riverside brings 6 on the blitz. Hernandez flushed out, fires to Jenkins. Nearly made a ridiculous one-hand grab inside the 15-yard line. The coverage was made by Ray Ford. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jenkins is relying too much on that one hand that he's known for.
Yeah, he did it last time, didn't he?
He did, and he was doing it during practice, like I said, but you got to use 2 hands. Come on, especially in a jump.
You were out at El Camino practice?
No, earlier here. They came out
during pregame.
Early. Yeah, pregame.
Well, El Camino is still a top 25 team despite the big loss. They remain one of the top national Central Conference ball clubs in that respective division. But no match for Riverside here today. Hernandez fires long again and nearly makes a diving catch. Is number 23 for El Camino, Michael Sims. 3rd and 10 now, a couple of deep balls, and it's Hernandez who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, all these quarterbacks, whether it's Holinsky, King, Notch, or Hernandez.
That's what separates,
they've all
good ones from the great ones in the junior college level.
Yeah, it's being able to hit the deep ball, and it seems like everyone's been overthrowing them. A little bit too much jitters and anxiety, nervousness, we could all say, on those thrown balls.
Yeah, it's not been a clean game for Joey Notch, or into the game is Hernandez. Back to throw on a 3rd and 10. Flushed out of the pocket, pursuing is Wilson. Fires on the run, and a leaping grab is made right at the first down marker by a busy man this half, Michael Simmons, who's still making big-time grabs late in the 4th quarter. He is a freshman product, and Dan, he's showing some big-time experience there.
Yeah, I mean, when you're able to help out your quarterback when he's in trouble, you become a valuable tool to your team. And right there, Simmons coming back to the quarterback, understanding that Hernandez was in trouble, and then leaping for a highly thrown ball right there.
Impressive completion by him. Catch number 6 today for Simmons. 4 wide set. Michael Simmons located to the near hand side. Back to throw. Pressure's on. And down he goes. Mickey Fangatua. That is Thomas Brown. Getting a little ahead of myself. Sack number 1 of the season by Thomas Brown. He has been a man who's been dug in deep by that linebacking core, but Brown records sack number 7 for Riverside.
Sure, El Camino has been able to sustain a drive, but give Riverside some time, because as soon as
that blitz was lethal, wasn't it?
It was right there. Being able to make them lose 16 yards on this.
Well, Hernandez has got to not run backwards there.
True.
As they face a 2nd and 26. Play clock is down to 5. 31-7. Tigers on top. Hernandez pass is nearly intercepted by Mickey Fangatua.
Wow. That would have been the ultimate dream. I mean, you already have a touchdown, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and now an interception for 6. That would have been something sweet.
That would have been amazing for Mickey Fangatua out of Baldwin High School in Hawaii. And he's got to be, along with Jeremiah Mitchell, looked on among D1 colleges. Jeremiah Mitchell, the number 1 defensive lineman for Riverside. He's going to Marshall University. We'll see what Mickey Fangatua devises here as he's had a monster day here for the Tigers. 5 minutes to go, 31-7, Riverside on top, and El Camino faces a third and forever. Back to throw goes Hernandez. He's looking long. Hoists the ball towards the far sideline. Leaping attempt is incomplete. Devontae Jenkins tried all he can, and another 3 and out, though, by El Camino offensively.
I don't understand what Hernandez was thinking there, because all he did was pray pretty much, because he just threw it up and risked it all and decided that, hey, getting no yards is better than getting a pick, I guess. Because
he threw right into double coverage, against Treshawn Broughton, and that is never a good idea. Yeah. He has been a solid returning man for defensive back for Riverside. Treshawn Broughton, the sophomore out of Vista Marietta, is 1-on-1 against Jenkins on a 4th and 26. The offense will go for it. Shotgun snap, Hernandez looking, zings the ball far side into double coverage, and Broughton's got the pick. Big interception against Devontae Jenkins. He should have tipped it away. That would have been a 40-yard return, but Treshawn Broughton wants his statistic. He wants that interception.
Treshawn Broughton understanding that, hey, they challenged him twice in a row. Why would they do that? Who knows? But El Camino, I guess, they got nothing to gain and nothing to lose pretty much in a game that's just pretty much done.
They've got everything in the game if they were able to win this football game, but it was over from Jump Street here. Even from the opening coin toss, you just saw El Camino was not the better team today.
Right.
As with 4:47 to go, Riverside leads 31-7 here on Spreaker.com's own National Sports. This one is just about over. We'll go ahead and chew up some clock for the Tigers. A 2-wide set. And Nicholas King is still in the game as Kelly Helinski, our starting quarterback, is now sitting on the bench off of an impressive performance by King. And he'll end up taking it himself and the quarterback out for gain of 2.
I could tell King is very ecstatic about his position right now. His body language indicates a lot of energy. He's excited. I could tell he's happy that he's out there playing. Good to see a kid just play football.
And Nicholas King is acting like a man in the backyard there, Dan. A little 7-on-7. Just slinging it around, and all sorts of confidence for Nicholas King as Denzel Foster crawls his way to the 15-yard line, a gain of 5. Impressive run by Denzel Foster. Over 125 yards for the JW North product. A sophomore returner who's now making an impact as the number 1 halfback for Riverside.
Yeah, right there he was just crawling for yards, refusing to go down, getting super low, using his hand to keep him up against the ground. Good job.
Exactly what you see. Running backs need to take note of Denzel Foster, who I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 1,000 yards this season on the ground. He's just that dominant of a running back. 2.8 yards per carry on the ground coming into today, Dan, and a far different production here in today's matchup.
Totally different. This is black and white and no gray area, except maybe the penalties still remain a touchy subject.
Yeah, huge. A lot of the false starts were uncalled for.
But definitely an improvement. Right. 8 turnovers last week, 2 turnovers because of Foster. But hey, it's a huge difference from what we saw last week, and it's hopefully a sign of good things to come.
Well, today, unlike in games past, they have won the battle, has Riverside in the trenches. Between the tackles, that offensive line is pushing forward against El Camino, who, let's be honest, they were one of the best defensive groups coming into today, at least statistically. That clock runs under 4:10 to go, and the Tigers finally are getting their success they expected all season on the ground. Denzel Foster over 100 yards. He's out of the game. Christopher Anderson, the backup, is in, and he's having a tough time figuring out where he needs to go. 3rd down and 3. High snap for King. Swings it out to his quiet receiver here today, Jermel Walker, incomplete pass, and it'll lead to a 4th down. Nicholas King, not a good pass there.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's bring up something else that Nicholas King has to improve on if he's going to continue as the starter of Riverside's offense. 3rd down conversions, right there, a 3rd and short. It's been a problem.
Yeah, now it's Riverside, who is 3, I believe, out of 12 on 3rd downs. If that. I mean, we'll get you statistics at the end of this ball game. There is still 3:40 to go. Riverside leads by 31-7. 24-point differential.
I like to indicate a running clock, by the way.
Oh, they are running that clock. Okay, well, it's a mercy rule, but it's been about time here. As El Camino brings the kitchen sink, all the men on the blitz, and they
probably deflected that.
Yeah, they did deflect it, and that ball will still end up taking a favorable Riverside hop into enemy territory, rolls out of bounds at the 48-yard line, 3:18 to go. El Camino trying to score their first points offensively today.
Yeah, and this special team